And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Day. My name is Ron Fawcett. I'm touching base with you. We have myself and Chris Edwards in the building as we're here every Thursday talking about politics, current events, and what's going on in the world. And there's a whole lot going on in the world. What's going on, Chris?
Nothing, man. Good morning to you. There is a ton of stuff going on. Yesterday was like a news drop.
News drop on
Just
top of
one
news drop.
thing. Yeah, just one thing after the next. So I'm excited to get into it with you today.
Oh my God. I sat there and said, this is absolutely insane. As soon as we got off the air, we had the Mitch McConnell announcement, and that
Yeah.
was definitely a shocker. I did not see that coming. I don't think, well, we all knew it was coming at some point, but we didn't see it coming this soon. And
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell
Well,
and just announcing that he is going to take a step back from being the minority leader in the Senate. Wow.
it's funny that it came out yesterday. I mean, we'll get into it in more in depth and detail, but all those announcements yesterday actually kind of coincided with one another, and it makes you think that there's a strategy that's going on because him deciding to step down and then also the Supreme Court making their decision in regards to Trump, they're all intertwined.
They're
So
all intertwined. And the thing is
yeah,
that, Mitch McConnell is really on the opposite side of Trump. He really hates Trump
now,
and
yeah,
and all that Trump stands for, and how Trump has totally taken over the Republican Party. The Republican Party, for we who used to be Republicans, and those that are old school Republicans, are the party is unrecognizable. It is not the same Republican Party. It is a cult. It belongs to Trump. They should just really just stop calling it the Republican Party and just call it the Trump Party or the Trump cult. And I think the writing was on the wall. I think also they say it wasn't because of Mitch's health, but we all know it has a lot to do with Mitch's health as well. I would think so.
yeah, I
Uh,
believe so.
but also they may be trying to get another Trumpster as the minority leader.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff does not happen in a vacuum.
Yeah.
They're slowly replacing any semblance of old school Republicans with these Trumpsters now. Because think about it, any Republican that ever really spoke out against Trump in the Senate or in Congress right now,
Yes.
they've either decided that they are not running for re-election or they're retiring and they're moving on. And they're all being replaced by quote unquote Trump loyalists. So, I mean, this is the move and the trend that's happening. I mean, now you have the minority leader in the Senate stepping down. Of course, they're going to replace him with someone who is more befitting of Trump's allegiance.
That's right. It's an allegiance. It's going to definitely be someone that is a Trump loyalist. And this is, guys, lots of commentators and lots of people are talking about, the people that follow this stuff, like, we political junkies. This is a changing of the tide. This is really, if people are not seeing it, they don't understand what how politics is trending. This is really the change. I like to say the correct phrase. It is the changing of the guard.
Yeah.
It is the changing of the guard. I mean, you think about Liz Cheney's gone. Liz Cheney represented the hardcore Republican Party.
Yep.
I mean, you couldn't get more Republican.
It's in her blood.
I mean, she's what they call royalty. She's Republican royalty.
She's legacy royalty. I mean, legacy Republican.
Father vice president, really kind of like led the country behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Bush didn't know what he was doing. It was Cheney that was running the country. So guys, buckle up. It's about to get it's going to get real bumpy.
It is.
And what's happening in this country.
The fasten seatbelt sign is on. We're going to have some major turbulence. So just we will not be serving drinks and cocktails during this flight. Trust me.
Serena said, I will never understand why they are so afraid of Trump. Boo him. Well, the thing is that he controls the people. These people are, when you are a cult leader, and you cult followers usually will die for their cult leader.
Yep.
And you see how people have gone to jail for Trump. People have lost their businesses. People have lost their licenses. People have, it is insane.
Their life.
For a person that does nothing for anyone.
And does not care about you. Doesn't even know who you are half the time. But that's what people in cults do. They will follow you to the ends of the earth and lose their life over it. And what they do is they leave their families behind trying to figure out and pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Listen, Hitler did it, Stalin did it, and now Trump is doing it.
Yeah. And there's lots of other dictatorish or dictator types in the world that are using some of the same game plans and game models. Yeah, hello. A lot will say now, according to history, a lot of these practices have originated from America. So when you see it happening around the world, and you say Hitler was the one that used some of this stuff, and then now we learned that Hitler was using the playbook of the Southern South. Well, it comes back home to roost. Yeah. So let's say hello to some folks. I see Hannah's in the building. Serena's in the building. Trish is in the building. Trish says, passport ready. And Rashawn is in the building. Bryson is in the building, as he says, what's up, Rashawn? What's up, Trish? We have also in here, who else? It's a small crowd today. It's a small crowd.
It is a small crowd. I've noticed it. Like, well, you know what? It's Thursday. I'm realizing a lot of people have other things that they're doing on Thursdays nowadays.
Thursday seems to be but that's why we do this on Thursday. So that way we can just hang out. We just relax. Hey, there's Gary. Gary just popped in. Mr. Sports. I have to say, I'm not a sports person. I mean, like sports person. I like going to sports. I like watching sports. I like screaming at any court side. However, I don't follow sports like I follow politics. Like
You're not a fanatic.
I'm a fanatic when it comes to politics. But Gary and his brother, they put on an amazing recap of sports on their channel. And Gary, if you can put your the name of your channel inside the comment box so people can know you exist and where you are on YouTube, so that way they can follow you. But yeah, so he and his brother, they get on and they talk about sports, and they give you some real insights. I learned a lot the other night. I don't usually look at sport channels, but I actually sat down and I was doing some work, and I said, let me listen to Gary and his brother, and it was really good. So yeah, March Madness is coming up.
Yeah,
I do follow March Madness.
I think most people do.
Yeah. So March Madness is around the corner. Serena says, and she got her little basketballs there. And so what else is in? So we talked. First of all, it's Thankful Thursday, and so I would like to just say we'll close out with what we're thankful for. So we'll do that at the end. But I just again want to say thank you guys for all of my birthday has been literally almost a week, and one of my friends was like, you need to celebrate for the month. So I said, okay,
there you go.
I'll take your advice. So it'll be a month-long celebration. But it's been so good hearing from you guys, sending me DMs, sending me emails, sending me texts and all that stuff. And I just want to say I am so thankful for this community. I am thankful for each and every one of you guys. You definitely keep it going, keep me going, and look, we're doing some things together. We are doing some cool things together. One of my friends was like, yo, Ron, your YouTube channel looks so professional, and you, I love the interview, Omar's interview. I didn't even know that.
Omar's was really good yesterday.
And someone called me and they said, Ron, Omar's been on our platform several times, and she said, every time you're able to get Omar on here, we learn something new about him. And she said, it is amazing that you are never out of conversation when it comes to Omar. I said, Omar has lived many lives. And literally, we could talk for hours if you allowed us. But it was such a great interview yesterday. If you missed yesterday's interview, you have to check it out. We just chatted up about his career as an editorial commercial photographer and also his journey. And it was really cool because I think people didn't expect the things that he was saying, especially when he was talking about his 19-year-old self. At 19, had photographed for some of the biggest labels in the world by 19. And it's almost like an athlete. My neighbor was saying to me about athletes is that they train 3 years, 4 years, 5 years for the Olympics. And it's just one event or maybe 2 events, but then it's over. But their whole lives have been consumed for one moment. And you look at and so usually after, people become depressed, they become all kinds of like Michael Phelps and his swimming, and but people, when you have accomplished so much at a young age, it really jolts you off your balance when it doesn't continue. You feel like this is going to happen for the rest of my life. And so Omar was talking about how having all those great accolades early on in his career, for the great opportunities of working with an amazing photography couple, and they took him right under the wings and gave him projects right out the box, like from the starting line. So it was a great conversation. Check the conversation out. We had so much fun. I said, Omar, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing with the community. And I'm sure there was definitely some wisdom shared on our Wisdom Wednesday. So, Chris, so can you tell, Chris, before we go into politics, I saw your posting yesterday. No, this morning. It was this morning. Gosh.
Which one?
The conference call. You guys are too hilarious.
So listen. So the video actually went live yesterday, but I was so swamped. I by the end of the day, I realized I didn't put up the promo for it, so I put it up this morning. Listen, we love doing that show. The banter between the three of us is just hilarious, and sometimes when I go into this, I'm like I said, I'm always looking for like those quirky moments that I can use as a promo. It might not necessarily talk about the show itself that we're actually doing, but there's those little glimpses of moments. It could be 5 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute long, where someone says something and it just triggers something, and I know instantly when it happens what the promo is going to be. So we put up this promo this morning. The video for the Drag Race recap show that we do every week is up. It typically goes up on a Wednesday. We're going to actually try to get it up a little bit earlier for the remainder of the season. We probably have about 4 more episodes, I think, because they're getting close down to the wire. But yeah, this one is titled Fourth Wall. All I'm going to say is go and watch the promo and then go and watch the video. Like I said, there are those off comment remarks that are made that just kind of like, okay, this could be really funny. And we don't take ourselves seriously with this. This show is about just having fun and just recapping the show. Because a lot of people watch Drag Race. A lot of people love what RuPaul has created. And we just try to have fun with it. We give our little 2 cents, and we live in our little corner of the world, and we leave it at that. So go check out the conference call here on YouTube, and follow us over on Instagram. And since we're talking about accounts, I'm going to talk about this one time and done and be over with it. I posted something, I think it was either yesterday or Tuesday, on my personal page. It has to do with a former client of mine. If you haven't seen the video, go and check it out on my page.
Oh, yes.
All right. The one thing I'm not going to talk about, you can go and watch it and see what I'm expressing. But the one thing I will say, for people that are in social media, that are on social media, be very careful and pay close attention to how your likeness and your name is being used on social media. If you ever come across a situation where you see that your images, your name is being used against, without your permission, make sure you take steps to rectify that. Call them out, send cease and desist, flag their accounts, do whatever it takes, because let me tell you something, your reputation is very important to you.
Yeah.
It is what you have out there, and people will try to take advantage of it and use it. Something similar to that happened to me, and I made a very public statement about it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that there are people out there in the world that don't have good energy or pass on good energy or just do the right thing. You would
Just
say,
dirty, just
yeah,
dirty.
it's just sad that there are people that don't practice good business practices or just good what we call
Ethics.
ethics. Yeah,
I
good
mean,
ethics.
come on now. Listen, why are you going to? Anyway, go watch the video. I'll
Yeah,
just leave it
watch
at
the
that.
video. Make sure you check out Chris's page on that, because it's definitely, when Chris told me about it, I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
And just for those, when you do watch it, just know this is not speculation or hearsay. These are actual facts. I have receipts on it. Okay.
Love that line, the receipts. But anyway, here's also Gary has put his YouTube page on here. It's called The Bottom Line Sports Talk. So again, he and his brother, they have conversations about sports, and what I love about YouTube, and I'm really learning to. I mean, I look at YouTube a lot for my news, CNN, MSNBC, Al Jazeera, Sky Talk, Sky TV. The list of shows that I watch on YouTube, as in getting my news and politics and global, what's happening in the world. BBC Africa. If you have never seen BBC Africa, it's another amazing YouTube channel where you can actually get the footage of what's going on in Congo, Cameroon. They just posted about Cameroon, and so using YouTube is an amazing platform. But what I do also love about we being here now on YouTube is that we're part of a ecosystem of amazing everyday people sharing their thoughts, sharing their ideas, and it's a perspective that is really like something that we love to hear. Like, when you look at Fox Sports, or you look at ABC Sports, or you look at ESPN Sports, it's all polished. There's certain things that can't be said. There's certain things that it's just cleaner and how
Yeah.
it looks and
It's more
performance.
produced.
It's produced. It's produced, edited, curated. But what's really cool is when you see someone like Gary and his brother doing sports. They are talking. One, they love sports so much. And I won't even say they're a layman conversation, because they do know sports, but they say it in just regular dude way. It's like they're just talking like two brothers, which they are, just hanging out and just talking about different, whatever happened in sports that day, whatever sport it is. And it's just refreshing to just kind of like, it's almost like being in the barbershop for all the dudes out there. We know how we talk well, I used to go to the barbershop when I was a kid, but I
Yeah.
haven't been to the barbershop since I was 16 years old. But when you go to the barbershop and people are just talking sports, they're talking all kinds of stuff, but mainly sports. And it's just really nice to be able to see that. So Gary, thank you for what you do on your platform. So guys, if you want to check out sports with Gary Jackson Jr., check that out. It's called The Bottom Line Sports Talk. And this evening, speaking of doing something interesting, I am supposed to be hanging out with Mr. Jamal Shabazz, who's in the building, who you guys are
Okay.
meeting. He invited me to an event this evening. So I was like, it's cold outside.
It is.
I mean, all week it's been very warm here in New York, and then last night the temperature dropped like a rock, and then this morning it's something cold all day today, so it's like wind chill factors. And I said, only for Jamel will I leave my house on a cold day.
It's crazy how that weather dropped so dramatically. It was like 64
so,
degrees yesterday, and today I think the high's gonna be like 39 here or something like that.
Yeah,
If
it was
even.
so cold this morning. I opened up my window and I was like, oh no, my plants are not going to be happy with me opening this window. I was like, I looked at my plants and said, no, I'm not going to give y'all guys the chill. I'm going to close these windows back. But yeah, so I see some folks that come into the building. Miss G is in the building. She was out yesterday doing her thing out in the field. And
What's up, Gwendolyn?
Gwendolyn is in the building. I see Elise is in the building. Elise, last night, she and Brian, they were talking about politics.
Saw that.
About Project 25, talking about the Supreme Court, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But great job to Elise and Brian for their conversation last night on YouTube. And sorry, not YouTube, but on Instagram. And it was really informative and just carrying a conversation and I would like to say connecting the dots. Janet is in the building. Janet Fisher is in the building. How are you? She says, greetings, everyone. Elise says, yes, the temperatures dropped across the country today. Yeah, it was high. It was 94 degrees in Texas, in Dallas on Monday or Tuesday. And then Gwendolyn was saying, it's only 40 degrees yesterday. So it dropped.
That's crazy.
It dropped 50 degrees in
and there's
Dallas.
no such thing as global warming.
Yeah, this weather is crazy. And also, if you are in the panhandle of Texas, which is the northern part of the state, they are going through a major fire. Yesterday was 500,000. Wow, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. 500,000 acres, I think it said. And then today is 600,000.
Yeah, they were talking about, was it like the state of Rhode Island or something like that?
Yeah, it's huge. It's a big fire going on in the northern parts. And so I talked to the Texans, Gwendolyn and Omar, and they were like, "Oh, this happens a lot in that part of the state." Did not know that, and but they said, but it's never happened this early. Because first of all, we never had 94-degree temp. It's not normal to have 94-degree temperatures in Texas in February. So, guys, we are in a new world. Okay. Also, I see Brian says,
oh wait, hold on. Correction. Yep. It's I'm seeing it right now. It's over 1 million acres as of right now in the Panhandle.
So now it's 1 million. So it's still spreading. Yeah, early this morning it was 600,000.
And it's the largest blaze on record in state history.
Yeah, so it's really bad out there, and so many homes are on the fringes because a lot of the area is not populated. But where there is population, they have lost some of their homes. They've lost some of their farms. They've lost some of their cattle, and so our love and hugs and prayers go out to the folks in Texas. I give Texas a hard time, but today we're thinking about Texas. So in that way, okay, back to the news. So obviously we talked about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell saying goodbye. And for those that don't know who Mitch McConnell is, if you don't know Mitch McConnell is really responsible. There would be no conservative. There would be no, I should say, as large of a lead in the Supreme Court justice and SCOTUS as being more conservative if it wasn't for Mitch McConnell playing such hardball. One, when he
changed the rules,
Obama the chance to get his
appointee, which he was legally entitled to do. There was over a year and a half left before a presidential election was going to happen, and he changed the rules so that Obama could not appoint a court justice. Correct. And after he went and changed it back.
Right. When Trump needed to get the appointees near the election, doing that. So Mitch McConnell is not a nice guy. I'm just
Not at
saying.
all.
We're just saying that he is. Some people said I said goodbye, Mitch McConnell. I didn't finish the statement because I didn't want goodbye and good riddance. But but a lot of folks, yeah, Mitch McConnell is not. He's played hardball, but you also have to give him respect. The man has been in his position since he was 40 years old. He's been in the Senate
For
going
over 4
on 40
decades.
plus 40 plus years, 4
Yep.
decades. And someone once mentioned to me a couple of weeks, maybe it was like last month. They said to me, Ron, you don't stay in these positions unless you know how to do some real good cutthroats. You need to be a good cutthroater, or you're extremely so nice that people respect you. You're either two or one of the two. And yeah, Mitch McConnell is he will not be missed, but in some ways I am definitely afraid of who's coming after him.
Yep.
So if they're going to be more Trumpian, well, that could be a problem in the future. So that's why it's important that we make sure that the Senate and the House, I should say the full Congress, the House of Representatives is totally controlled by the Democrats. If not, because again, there's no more Republicans. All of the true Republicans the traditional Republicans have left the party.
Yep.
And so it's sad what's going on. But also what happened yesterday. I mean, once we got off with you guys, I got off with you guys yesterday. That came across the screen, and Chris sent me the text. Ron, are you here? It's resigning. But also, just so you know, also this happened yesterday. Biden's clean bill of health, so he's in great shape for a man of his age, and so everyone that's hopping about, he's poor health and yada yada yada.
Yeah, but guess what? Even with that being released, a lot of pundits were saying, well, why didn't they release his mental health status? That's never, ever the case. And then the White House came out with a statement stating that, yes, they don't have to release that, but him showing up to work every day is a surefire way of letting everyone know that he has good mental health capacity. He's doing his job every single day. He's showing up.
His job well. I mean, again, I will continue to say, all of those folks out there that are believing the Republican lies about the record shows that Trump had one of the worst economies and did nothing, and also had put us in the highest debt. Most debt was accumulated under the Trump administration, and those 4 years equals to the whole history of America, the debt that we are in, as in our GDP. So people need to realize what's going on, really going on. And then you have to say that some of the most sweeping, amazing legislation that was passed and put into law under Biden has been incredible, since we had not seen legislation pass on that level since FDR. So I will say he may be old, but he's getting stuff done.
Yeah, I mean, the lowest unemployment rate ever, especially when it comes to people of color, Black people, the lowest unemployment rate ever.
And also bringing back jobs from overseas. Like we are back getting our own semiconductors.
Yeah, that's huge.
Infrastructure that bill was passed, so that way there's Wi-Fi in the middle of the country that did not have, which is, again, it blows me away why the red states fight against their own needs. Like,
and they're benefiting.
No one has given them Wi-Fi.
Let me tell you something. They're the ones benefiting the most out of it. A lot of those Republicans voted against a lot of this stuff, but they're accepting the money to help rebuild a lot of their infrastructure. I mean, road projects, bridges. I mean, you see a lot of the changes actually starting to take place. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, some of the northern states like Delaware, I think it was DC. I know it's Maryland. Maryland got, oh, sorry, it was PA when that bridge fire. They were able to take care of that. New York City is getting a new tunnel that's been needed for, we only have one tunnel between New York and Jersey where all of the trains go through. Did y'all know that? So when you say there's an Amtrak delay, if it's one delay, it delays the whole system because it's only one tunnel. So infrastructure bills, that infrastructure bill took. Remember, Trump said, "I'm going to give you the infrastructure bill." He did not do it.
That was every week.
Biden did it. So again, I will say, and Governor of California says, I will always go with older and wiser. Just because someone's old doesn't mean you throw them to the side. And that's another problem. I just had this conversation with Gwendolyn yesterday. We were saying because companies are laying off a lot of people that have tenure and seniority and all that stuff. But once you lose your seniors in your company, the people that know the roadmap to the company, the people that know the foundation of your company, then you lose your culture of your company. Now, sometimes that may be a good thing, but for the most part, if you want to continue to grow your business, you want those senior people. You're like, yeah, we want to just make our wages lower. Well, I can definitely say you want the seasoned people because they have the knowledge. They have the knowledge. That's why I go to B&H here in New York City and Adorama when I go for my equipment, because most of those folks have worked there for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. I don't go to Best Buy. I don't go to Best Buy.
No.
Those are kids out of high school, college students that they're just doing it for the kids.
And they don't even know what the product is.
I don't know exactly.
What's that?
You want seniors. We live in a world where, throw away buy the couch. It'll only last you 2 years. Okay, I'll get a new couch in 2 years. No, spend the money, take the time, invest in something that's going to give you quality. Quality is long-term.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing that's happening, really bad thing, guys.
So this is pretty
Court
bad.
Yesterday is going to hear Trump's immunity claim. And for those that don't know, Chris, you want to talk about it? Since I've been talking so much, you go for it.
All right, so there are a couple things. Jack Smith actually went to the courts back in December in regards to this. Asking them to make a speedy ruling so that they can move this case further along. Because of the fact that they're doing this now, the case is paused. There's no work being done in the background. So he went to the Supreme Court and said, hey, we'd like you guys to rule on this expeditiously so we can get this moving. They decided not to do anything. Yesterday, they came out and said, we are going to take this case. But oral arguments for this won't happen until April 22nd. Yeah. Now, what that effectively does is pauses everything. You can't do anything until April 22nd. But then on top of it, after oral arguments, the Supreme Court does not have to rule on this case until June, which is the end of this year's term.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what that effectively does is if they rule that he does not have presidential immunity, it still delays everything. If they do agree that he does, then it goes back. The government can go back and appeal it. So regardless of whatever happens, this thing is going to get delayed. It might not actually even happen before the 2024 elections in November. And if it doesn't happen in November, is there a possibility they can still go forward after the election? Yes. If Trump does win and the trial does go on, it can still happen. But they projected that this trial is going to last, I believe they said 3 months. I believe that's what it was. So that takes you into the season of after inauguration, which Trump will now go in and say, you know what? I'm dismissing all of this, and throws it away. Yeah. So them deciding to take up the case right now is not in the best interest of the government. They could have simply said, you know what? No, we're going to let the ruling of the appeals court that had a unanimous decision, let it stand and not take the case at all. But they wanted to put their hands into this. One of the things I learned about this is that all it takes is 4 justices to agree to actually hear the case. Not all 9 have to accept it, just 4. And there are 4, as we would call right-wing Republicans on the court. They were probably the ones that said, all right, let's hear it.
Yes. But also,
I hope that was a good enough explanation.
You did good. You did good, sir. But not only is it, not only is this a case where they're going to hear it, but people were upset. People are upset, not were, are upset. Is that, first of all, they got this in December. We're in March. So they waited 3 months to give us this verdict that they were going to take it.
Yep.
And then now you have to wait another 2 months or a month, almost 2 months, for them to actually go and take it on and do some ruling. And then they can also, so what they're doing is that they are playing into Trump's.
They're playing his game.
Delay.
Delay.
It's just all about the delay, because they said everyone knows what the Supreme Court is going to rule, that the president does not have absolutely.
Immunity. So why do you have to drag it out that long?
Right.
And
you
then
can literally say it today. You can literally just say today.
Here's the other thing about this. Why you know that it's political. When the Colorado case about Trump being taken off the ballot was brought to them, they responded expeditiously. From the moment it happened to the ruling, it was 51 days in total, everything. So they can do this with a quick turnaround, but they're choosing not to do this. That's why you know it's political.
Yeah. So because they know there's only one answer. He is not immune for the rest of his life. And he is not immune from crime. If the president commits crime, if they say he has total immunity, then that means he is a king of some kind.
Yeah. And then on top of it,
the rule of law doesn't apply, and that means all people are not equal.
What was the reason for Nixon resigning?
Because he could be in prison. He could be committed guilty of a crime.
So you've got precedents there, and you've got other situations. Like I said, this is not happening in a vacuum. These are things that have happened before. Bush versus Gore. They stepped in and did that. They stepped in and did that. Like, why are you choosing this one particular thing? That means that has so much importance in regards to the future of our democracy, to have such a delay in it.
Yeah.
Why not just rule or say, you know what? No, the lower courts got it right, and we're going to let that decision stand.
Let it stand. So again, there's some great commentary. Me personally, I love MSNBC, but I can definitely tell you, Rachel Maddow, she broke it down yesterday. Also, what's his name? Mick O'Donnell.
Lawrence O'Donnell.
Lawrence O'Donnell did a great job in breaking it down, and you'll see a bunch of folks talking about it. But again, we all know what the outcome will be, and that's why they just let it, delay. I just don't understand what it is about Trump that these people are like loyal.
It's like the little trinket you hold in front of someone to hypnotize. It's the shiny object in the room. Here's the thing. He claims to be educated. He's not. He thinks that he's good looking. He's not. He thinks that he's smart. He is not. The man has no knowledge of anything. Someone on social media did an experiment yesterday. A reporter went out and said all these things that Trump did, but said it was Biden. And they were talking to Trump supporters. And then they got their reaction. Then the reporter went back and said, oh, no, actually, I'm incorrect. It was actually Trump. And the way that these people twisted themselves to make Trump seem like everything was okay. It was okay that he did it. It was not a problem. It was ridiculous. And you just see people, you see Republicans, you see Trump lovers just doing this. They're falling over themselves. They're tripping. They're doing whatever it takes to make it seem as though he is this person when he is not. It's ridiculous.
Brian says everyone needs to read the appellate court's ruling. SCOTUS should have just upheld that, and that is the truth. I mean, the appellate court wrote such an amazing ruling, and their notes,
detailed,
the detailed notes of why they made their decision, and absolutely, it's the SCOTUS didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to do anything. I mean, the appellate court did such a great job in laying out every reason why the president does not have absolute immunity. But you know what's interesting to me? I often wonder if this case happens to, let's say they do give absolute immunity. See, I'm cynical. It's just a cynical person I am at some points in my life. And this is one of those things I'm cynical about. I would simply say to the Biden administration, this is what they ruled, then let's have it. I'm in office. I'm not letting you in.
There you go. There you go.
Because now, if I'm president right now, before Inauguration Day, then you know what? In the sake of preserving the country, Trump, we will not let you become president. I have ruled. I'm president. Absolute immunity, because I am ruling.
And there's nothing they can do about it.
Or, I know this sounds a little rough, but Trump, by his lawyer, said they could take seal 6, right? Is it seal 6 or seal 8? And take out your arrival. And they agreed that you could. Well, maybe Biden could be able to say, you know what? I think we're going to we're just going to end this right here. Trump, we're done. But it's amazing how these Trump followers, it's good when it's against the opposite side, but when it's them, they will protest, they will cry, they will do everything they can.
But here's the thing that
exactly.
Here's the thing that gets me now. Every election, it doesn't matter if it's large scale, meaning the whole entire United States, or localized government. Whenever there's an election, if a Republican loses, the first thing they say is it's rigged, meaning that if I don't win, then it's not a fair election. It's only a fair election if I win. It's like with parents now. If my child doesn't get a participation award, this doesn't make any sense. Like, no, there are winners and losers. I believe that this is where we went wrong. When you tell everyone that they are winners, even though they did not accomplish a task or actually win an event, you telling them that yes, in your hearts of hearts, you are a winner. We never want to talk down to people, but there is a clear distinction between someone who has won something and someone who has lost. You have to have a winner and a loser. Accept your defeat with grace. In past, everyone they concede. They say, our party did not win this time, but in 4 years, we're going to come back stronger. We're going to try to win, and we're going to try to do better. No, it's, I didn't win, so, it's not fair, and it's rigged, and because I didn't win, it's not. No, that's not how this world works. Get over it. Concede. Move on.
Kimmy said something, and Kimmy, I'm going to answer. She said, would it come up again if the highest court did not rule on it? Yes. So that's another reason why folks said the Supreme Court did take it, because if they don't take it and put in their stamp of approval or disapproval of it, then it will come up again at another time and another.
Well, not even that. It would go back to the appellate court. And because it was only the 3-judge panel, it will go to the full. Is it 11 judge panel? I believe it is. It will go to the full panel, however many people are on it. It would go back to them, and they would Trump's team would probably ask them for the entire court to weigh in on it. And I don't think that the judgment would be any different. And you know what? They would move swiftly because they moved swiftly on that decision to begin with.
They moved swiftly when they want to. So this is just a delay. They're helping Trump without helping him. You know, like just by the delay. It's just, but that's a good question, Kimmy Kim. Yes, but it would, yeah. If the Supreme Court does not take the case, it could come back later on. Yes. Any lawyers in the building, they could definitely rule in there. I miss my BJ because BJ would have gave us her version of the law. So I miss my lawyers. Any lawyers in the building? Any other lawyers in our community? Yeah. Kes says, yes, winners and lessons to lose does not mean person is a loser. They just lost the game, etc. There's a difference telling kids that all the time, adults too. Yeah, I mean, again, people definitely need to learn how to lose.
Gracefully.
I mean, gracefully. And that's the problem that's going on right now in the Republican Party. There's a race in Michigan where one leader won and the other one lost, but the one that lost is saying he won, and then the woman is saying she won, and they can't get their act together in Michigan.
You know what? Let's talk about that a little bit, because for those that don't know what's going on in Michigan, they are two quote unquote heads of the Republican Party going at it now in Michigan. No one seems to know who is the rightful head of the Republican Party there. They actually are using the same website, well, a subdivision of the same website, and people are going there. They had two separate primary slash what's the other word? What's the other one? Well, let's say primaries going on, and people are not knowing which one is the actual primary and where the delegates are going to come from. As of right now, a lot of local and state Republican parties are either bankrupt or in total disarray, and I don't think that's getting enough airplay. It's being told on, new like MSNBC and CNN, those type of places, but it's not in mainstream media. A lot of them are broke because a lot of them have squandered the money and done things that are a little bit seedy with it, buying things here and there for people. And they're just not getting the support that they have in the past. So, I mean, you have to really look at the Republican Party as a whole. They're in complete and utter chaos, nationally and locally.
And how about the resignation of the RNC,
the national leader?
Chairman? Yeah, the RNC chairman had to resign, which I'm sure she was booted out. And it goes to show you, no matter how loyal you are to Trump, no matter how loyal you are to him, he will eventually come for you too.
Yes, and he wants to.
And she was like, you couldn't beat her in her love for Trump, and always on all the talk shows and all of the Meet the Press and ABC News, and talking about how much the Trump administration. But guess what? She got the boot, so that way his daughter-in-law can.
I was going to say. Now what they want to do is he wants to put family members in charge of a Republican Party, which is quote unquote, he is the presumptive nominee and candidate for the presidency. That is just bad, not even bad politics, that's just bad business.
But that's how dictators do it.
Yeah.
That is a dictatorship move. You put your family in all the key spots, you put all these people in the key spots, and
you control them.
They said they're putting her in the spot so they can funnel the money. The RNC is losing money. The Republican Party is losing money. And so the few dollars that are coming in, they want to funnel that money to the Trump legal fees. And
to pay his bills.
Yeah, pay the bills. Because he does not have the bills, the money.
Look, he's got $500 million he's got to pay for right now, and it just keeps adding up because there are more cases coming.
Elise says, right. She was forced out so that this daughter-in-law could come in. Yeah, but again, but the Republicans will go with it. They will go with it.
But see, here's the thing: like all this stuff is on Front Street. This is all stuff. We're not making this stuff up. We're not, digging deep to find in this stuff. This stuff is out there, and people are not paying attention. Because I think that if people just looked at everything holistically, they're like, why would you want someone like this even running or even being considered for president of the United States? I mean, he was selling the country when he was in office to begin with. Now he wants to take people's hard-earned dollars to pay his legal bills for a situation that he got himself into.
Yeah, Hannah says, Chris, doesn't the Black Republican woman still hold the purse strings within the party in Michigan?
Honestly, I don't know, because that conversation changes daily.
Yeah, this story has been so crazy, and I mean, I know Brian, you guys are from Michigan, so I mean, Brian would know better than we know, I would think. But yeah, it's they're literally fighting, because someone says, no, I did not lose. I did not lose when they did lose. I mean, they lost, but they don't think they lost. They said they did a Trump, and that's the
within their own party.
Within the party, they're saying, "Oh no, I'm not conceding. I'm not conceding. It was the election was rigged."
No one knows how to lose in that party. Like the fact that they're even saying that with amongst themselves, like they can't even get it together to say, all right, in our little party, there's a winner and a loser. Nope, it was rigged. It was rigged. Like
you can't make it up, right? You can't make
this stuff up. No, you can't.
But it's happening. It's real. It's real. Okay, what else is going on? Let me see what else we have on here for things that are happening. I see here we got that. We got that. It looks like we got them all. I think we got them all, sir. Oh, Illinois.
Yeah, that happened yesterday.
Has now banned Trump from the ballot insurrection.
That won't last long.
Yeah, so they're in line with Colorado. There are several other states that are coming on board to ban Trump from the ballot. So stay tuned. Listen to what's going on in Illinois.
Yeah,
let me ask to do it. So
let me throw something out there, because I want to know your opinion on this, and people in the comments. Do you think that this is going to get even crazier to a point where I never even thought that this could ever be a possibility, but do you think they might actually delay the elections this year to figure all this stuff out?
I don't know, because it's by the date of the election is by the Constitution.
There's a lot of things that are constitutional that are being thrown out right now, and I'm being serious when I say that.
Serious, I know. Look, in this day and age, anything's possible. I don't put anything past anything that's happening. There's a lot of things I never thought would be happening. I never thought there would be a reversal on Roe versus Wade. I never thought that right now, for those that don't know, what's before the court is, I think it's Georgia. Georgia wants to get rid of the last part of the Voting Act, and what it does is it is part of when back in the days, back in the 1800s, when you had what's called test elections. So, for instance, in order for you to vote, you had to guess the jelly beans in the jar. Well, there's a law, there's a clause within the Voters' Right Act that stops that kind of behavior. Well, Georgia is trying to eliminate it. Guys, like I say every day, they are coming for all of us, and they are not playing. They are not playing. And I had this conversation again this week with some white women, and I was listening to I was listening to Elise and Bryson's conversation last night. Brian's conversation last night in their chat, is that Roe v. Wade was just the beginning, because when you knock out that particular law, and you do a reversal, because it's not law, it's reversal, they you stand a chance of all the other stuff tumbling down as well.
Yeah, you open up the door to go back and reverse other things that you don't, that this particular court doesn't feel is justified.
Yeah.
And they can justify anything they want. All they have to do, they just throw out words and do whatever they want. I mean, that's basically what they did. Roe versus Wade was precedent. It was, but of course, it is the mistake of the Democrats who did not solidify it and make it law.
They did not make it law. And again, one thing you have to give the Republicans their kudos, or whatever you want to say, their credit, is they know how to play the long game.
Yep.
And they have been working on dismantling this for 50 years. You think that's a half a century, and they have not given up. Same thing with if Trump gets into office, they are still going after healthcare. They still want to dismantle, slide on call, Obamacare. They want to get rid of it. They still want to get rid of it.
And they see the good that is done over these years of being in place. Did it have a rocky start? Absolutely. But most things, when you're doing something new for the first time, have a rocky start. And a lot of kinks have been worked out, and more people have health insurance in this country than ever before.
That's right. And you should be looking out for the poor people in our country. Most of us are working poor. I mean, most of the people in the country are one paycheck away from being homeless, or one paycheck away from having a, or God forbid, some health crisis. They're done. And that shouldn't be. It shouldn't be in a country like this, that if you have one health episode, you're done financially.
So hold on. I know we're getting close on time, but there, you just mentioned something. There's one or a few states right now. They have a program where they're wiping out people's medical debt because they realize that it's become such a problem in their state. I don't remember where. I know it was on probably like on MSNBC, which I saw it, and I don't remember which state it was. But they are actually wiping out people's medical debt because they realize that most people, one instance, as you said, has completely destroyed them financially, and it's not fair that that happens to you. Not everyone is just sitting on a pile of cash that, if God forbid something does happen to you, you can survive.
Yeah, that is it's horrible when you think about that, man. I mean, healthcare is expensive, unnecessarily expensive. But the same stuff that we get here that's expensive, you can get in other countries and it costs nothing. I remember when I was in Africa, I opted to not get my malaria pills in the United States. Usually I would get them, but they are not covered by your insurance. So it's like $300, $400 for malaria pills, right? So I said, this particular time I went, I said, you know what? While I was in Botswana, I got the same malaria pill because one of my friends that was with us is a doctor. One of my friends is a doctor, and so we opted to get our malaria pills in Botswana. And guess how much that bill was? $35. So in America, it would have cost us $300 plus,
and it's the same thing,
almost $400. The same exact medication in Botswana was $35. So I've learned some medications, if I travel abroad, I would wait till I get to that other country. Obviously, my buddy's a doctor, so I mean that made it really easy for us to get the medication. But again, it's just obscene. It's crazy. $30 versus, or for instance, I don't know if you guys know about this, but I'll say it. My mother has dementia, right? So I got the medication. And I couldn't find her insurance cards because I couldn't figure it out. And then I called the insurance. I called Social Security, and they wouldn't give me any of her information because I'm not on her as a, what do you call it, her personal caregiver.
Caregiver.
And so I couldn't get I couldn't get her insurance information. So, and we couldn't find it in the house. We just couldn't find where my mother put it and everything. So I went to get her medication, and it was $300. Almost, it was like $300.17, something like that. And I just said, "Oh, this is gonna be too expensive. I no way be able to get that." But there was this wonderful person, clerk, behind the counter, and she went beyond. She called, she looked and went to called my mother's medical, called this, called, so all of the numbers I had for her, and then we couldn't get anything on her insurance. And so she says, we do have this plan for seniors at Walgreens that if you just ask for it, you get it. And it's a discounting of medicine, which I had no idea that it's anything, but they don't advertise it. You have to ask for it. And so what was $300 at Walgreens, my mother's medication, I got it for $14.14.
It's despicable, American greed.
But if I did not have because the other two people didn't even know it existed. She happened to work at Walgreens longer. She had been at right not too far from my house. She was able to say, "Oh no, we have a program." And then she went and she signed me up for the program, signed my mother's name into the program. And so now when she gets her medication, it's automatically $14. I sat there and said, "Ma'am, you saved our lives." I said, I was so full of gratitude, and then we'll close on gratitude and thankfulness, is that there was someone that was thinking of the individual and not just next. Okay, you don't got the money? Okay, next. But she was like, and also I always say it counts to be nice to people.
Yep.
I'll say, "Ma'am, I'm not freaking out. I'm not getting angry. I'm not throwing things around. I just simply say, "Ma'am, I really need this medication for my mother. This is so important. Is there anything that I can do to get this medication?" And then she's go, "Oh, you know what? There is this one thing." And it triggered her thought, because she had a moment to just kind of relax and say, "Oh, I would love to help you." And she did. And so Walgreens, for some of the workers out there, not like I said, I had a good worker. She was a good cashier, good pharmaceutical clerk, and she made it happen. But it's ridiculous about Medicare. So guys, it is time to get out of here. It is 12:19, but I would like you to put inside the box, inside the comment box here, what are you thankful for today? What are you thankful for today? I see Ryan has put some stuff in here regarding some of the things that we should be looking at. Ryan mentions we should be looking at Roe versus Wade, open the door for Lawrence versus Texas, Griswold versus Connecticut, Loving versus Virginia, Arbitfell versus Hodges, and Myers versus Nebraska, and Skinner versus Oklahoma. So the fall of Roe versus Wade has now opened up all the doors to all of this legislation that was passed. So what are you thankful for, guys? Before we get off here, encourage the community with what you're thankful for. I am thankful for so much. And like I said, I am thankful for you guys who come here. You're here, you're here to support the community and support one another. And but what are you thankful for? Janice says she's thankful for updates and other points of views. Trish says she needs stronger weed. Trish is crazy. Trish.
Her strain is not strong enough.
Oh, I hate the smell of weed. My neighbors, I have a neighbor on this side and a neighbor on that side and a neighbor below. and I hate the smell. I hate the smell. But Trish, I know some people need their weed. Some people need it. It's for Brian says he's thankful for breath mints. Oh God. Okay. And what else are you guys thankful for? Okay. Okay, guys. So we've been on here a while. I gotta be respectful of your time. So, guys, thank you so much. I think that's it. Chris, you have any announcements? Anything that you want?
Nope,
We're good, right?
nothing today. Nothing today. Just
We're
working
good.
hard.
Again, I'll be posting tomorrow all of the meetup stuff, the meetup that we're having. I'll be posting that tomorrow. I'll also be posting our third week Patreon lesson will be on ISO. So put that on your calendar, third Thursday of the month if you're in the Patreon community. And if you're not in the Patreon community, you can join the Patreon community and support what I do as I bring more content and build this audience and build on what we're doing here. So all this does take money to create. So if you want to help support, you can support in the Patreon. I'll throw the banner up real quick, and then I'm out of here. And there's our Patreon. There's our Patreon page. There we go. There it says, join my Patreon community. There we go. So you can have that there. And I think that's it. So Chris, thank you so much, my brother.
As always.
And guys, I will see you tomorrow. Chris and I will see you tomorrow. We will focus on tomorrow. I think we're just going to do. Should we just get back to doing a little Instagram and favorite YouTube channels?
Yeah.
Okay. So tomorrow we're going to be focusing on favorite Instagram. There's so many accounts that I've discovered, and I want to share some amazing photographers that I've discovered their websites over the last month, and we haven't done this in a while. So I want to make sure I get some of these photographers. We get them, focus on some of them. So we'll be doing that on our Focus Friday tomorrow. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. The fireworks. Okay. And I think we're good. And so, guys, see you tomorrow. Happy Thursday.